I need the people at home to know that we're not insane. I wasn't going insane two episodes ago.
We weren't.
I was not going insane 2 episodes ago.
We understood the visual reference happening on the page.
Yes, but the facts weren't technically wrong. But we were wrong, but where we were getting them from, I think. It was very strange. Welcome to R2-BD, friends. My name is Joey.
I'm Jacob.
We're brothers. We like it a Star Wars. I said that so often, that's almost the intro. We like it a Star Wars. I shouldn't be saying that. Anyway, we're back with more Star Wars comics today. We're talking Star Wars Last Flight of the Harbinger. This will be our last regular Star Wars volume for a little bit. We're doing Vader, End of Games next time. And then we got a book that I think a great many people will be excited about to hear us finally read.
Yes, I think so.
I'm very excited about that. But 2 episodes time until that. In the meantime, we're talking Last Flight of the Harbinger. I was very confused by this title until about halfway through this volume.
Yeah, it did. Not that it didn't make sense, but it didn't make sense.
Yeah, we'll get into it. This is, of course, as always, a spoiler discussion about Last Flight of the Harbinger, as are all of our episodes of R2-BD. If you don't want spoilers, this is not the show for that. I wish I could offer a better alternative, but I have none. I don't know anyone else that is really going through these comics in this way. In 2025,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a unique thing to us. I don't know.
Well, we might be the only one of a small handful at the very most. I assume.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, this is what issues. I have the book here, 20 through 25. Yes. You finished it very recently.
I did. Yes.
Did not. I finished about a little over a week ago.
Yeah, sounds about right.
A little week ago. I'm a little fuzzier on the details. That's how this usually goes.
Yeah.
I'm just.
I not that I have a better memory for things, but I have a better memory for random bullshit.
Well, better for random bullshit, of course, but also you literally just read it more recently than I did.
Yes.
So, and that's why I'm the one that keeps notes.
Yes, so, exactly.
Okay, so here we go. Trying to think what we should tackle first.
I mean, the Obi-Wan stuff, I suppose, is pretty standalone.
I suppose. It does pick up literally where the last volume with Rebel Jail leaves off, as far as the Obi-Wan.
Yeah, as far as Obi-Wan is concerned.
Because it's literally just a follow-up to that cliffhanger where Jabba hires Black Krrsantan to go after Obi-Wan. Or whoever it may be that is attacking his operation.
We all know it. We, the audience, know it's Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I didn't realize Black Krrsantan was as, important to these comics as he is. Because he keeps showing up a lot. He was obviously he's been in these Obi-Wan issues, but also he's been in, was he in the first volume with Boba?
He was.
He was there, really early on with Boba. And he was also in Vader. In the lineup of bounty hunters back in, volume 1 or 2 or something like that. Yeah,
when effectively the same thing is happening for the same reason.
Yes, yeah.
But from the Vader side.
That's an interesting point that I would like to bring up, actually. That I had thought that post Vader Down, these books were going to remain pretty separate. Aside from maybe the Afra stuff, because we're setting up the Afra.
Yeah. The Afra stuff
solo series.
We figured the Afra stuff would be connective.
Yeah. But no, straight up Darth Vader is here in this volume. He's here in this volume, and I was genuinely shocked by that for some reason.
Especially, it's a little shocking if you're reading Vader right along with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it almost doesn't line up.
Yeah, it kind of doesn't. Because it's you've got the ending of... I'm guessing this would be post-Shutoran War, before End of Games, because that's where it would take place publishing-wise, but also because I don't know if that... I guess it would have to line up. Unless this somehow ties into End of Games.
We won't know until, next time.
We'll know next time, yeah. It very well might. We'll see. But yeah, I was genuinely shocked to see Vader, because I thought that, I for sure thought that after Vader Down happened, that these things would be more separate. I do, however, think that once the Vader Solo series ends and it starts doing the Revenge of the Sith era stuff, that Vader will start showing up in the Star Wars title a lot more.
Yeah, I think so.
Because he won't be as reserved for the standalone title.
Yeah, because Vader will no longer have a current story to run.
Mm-hmm. Aside from, because they replaced... When that first Solo series ended, they replaced it with the one that takes place between Revenge of the Sith and New Hope.
Yes.
The incredibly famous Charles Soule one that I've still never read, which we'll probably do for the show.
We'll probably do it for the show. Yeah.
But yeah, no. They when I would assume personally that Vader's going to start showing up in this title a lot more once we get past that. But I don't know, unless they start reserving Vader for maybe the Afra stuff. Maybe Vader starts hunting down Afra there.
Maybe that's.
But we also don't know where the whole Afra thing's going to end off in End of Games.
Yeah.
So we'll get there. That's all next time. And trust me, it'll all be read already by the time this episode comes out.
Yeah.
So
it's more than likely the future us, publishing this episode already know everything we have just questioned.
Exactly. Sorry, back on the Obi-Wan stuff. That was a
tangent and a half.
I mean, it's relevant to the book, of course.
Obviously.
But yeah, back on the Obi-Wan stuff. I found this a really interesting issue. It does kind of feel like an ending. I feel like, to me at least, it kind of feels like who writes the Obi-Wan? It's still Jason Aaron writing the Obi-Wan issues, right?
I think.
I want to double check that first. Yes, Jason Aaron still writes the Obi-Wan issues. It does kind of feel like he writes kind of an ending for this. It's kind of like a trilogy of issues, because there's the one in Smuggler's Moon, and there's one in Rebel Jail, and now the one here. And it kind of feels like it's its own little trilogy. It kind of felt like, to me, like the one in Smuggler's Moon, where when Luke first finds the journal, that was kind of its own thing, and then they were like, oh, there's more story potential here. And then they ended up writing like a 2-issue arc, and then maybe that was it.
Yeah, maybe. If more comes out of this, I think I'd be a little surprised.
I do know, however, that Jason Aaron doesn't stay on the entire run.
I see.
I'm pretty sure there's someone that takes over after him, but I don't know at what point Jason Aaron leaves the book. So maybe they'll pick up more Obi-Wan stuff eventually. But as it stands, it feels kind of, at least for now, somewhat final. Because it's literally just, Krrsantan goes after Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan and Owen find like some common ground because they both want to protect Luke. But Luke ultimately ends up saving the day. Because that's fucking great. We get Luke in the Skyhopper, right?
Yeah, it's the Skyhopper.
Yeah.
Because we do need to set up that Luke is, in fact, a pilot.
He's a good pilot. He's not such a bad pilot himself, of course. But Luke is actually the one that ends up sort of saving the day here. You know what most surprised me, though, about this Obi-Wan issue?
What's that?
Fucking Aunt Beru.
Honestly?
Beru Lars ready to throw the fuck down. Ready to protect her kid at all costs. More character development than I think Beru gets throughout the entire rest of Star Wars. Not even fucking joking.
No, honestly, I think that's totally fair.
I'm not even a little joking. This is insane. Because I watched this great video recently. I know I told you about
this. We talked about this in our personal time.
I watched this great video from, I wish I could remember the name of the channel. I'll try to find it as I'm making the point, which is always great content, of course.
Obviously. Vamping while making a point.
Yeah, I could do this.
But making a point.
But yeah, I watched this great video from Piper Griesel? It's spelled Greisl. A video essay about women in Star Wars and representation in the original trilogy. If I have one criticism about this video, is that it doesn't go into Leia enough in Return of the Jedi. It kind of stops at the slave Leia costume stuff. But anyway, the actual video brings up a great point about Beru Lars, and that is that she does literally get fridged and has quite literally no actual character.
Because the day you'd watch this, you would come to me just kind of randomly from my perspective, and we're like, how many women talk in the original trilogy?
I took that from the video. She starts the video though. She's like, name me in 5 seconds as many women in the original trilogy as you can that are like actually named and have a presence on screen. And the answer is literally just 3. There are 3 named female characters that do things in the original Star Wars
you didn't tell me you would watch this video. You were just like, name them, and I was like, Leia and Mon Mothma?
Couldn't even think of Beru.
She didn't cross my mind.
Yeah, because she's hardly even there. She gets fridged. She's there to die, pretty much. And she pours some blue milk and
says that Luke is too much like his father.
I was gonna say that is like maybe if there's any sort of character to Beru, but even then it's there to mostly service Owen as a character. It's the Luke's just not a farmer. He's got too much of his father in him. And putting the point aside that is just a funny ass conversation given the prequel trilogy.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Putting that aside, it's like it's only there for Owen to be like that's what I'm afraid of. First off, great delivery. I do love that scene. I really do. But I don't think Beru really has a character there.
No, and unrelated, I do think it's really funny in Star Wars in general that the Emperor never told Vader, "Hey, I know you have living family. Maybe go kill them."
Right? Yeah. Well, and it's like. And then Anakin Skywalker, deep inside that costume, never thinks to be like, maybe he's on my home planet. Maybe they put him with my family. That would no, never.
Never.
What about the other one? Maybe. Oh, sorry, he doesn't know about the other one. He never knew about Leia.
Yeah, he only knew about Luke. Even after this is relevant now to the comic. Even after he knows Luke is his kid.
Wait, no. Oh yeah. This is a comic conversation. This isn't a between Revenge and New Hope conversation.
Yeah.
Because his kids are alive. Or kid, as it were.
Yeah.
That all happens here.
Yeah, like even within the context of the comics that we have read for this, he knows Luke Skywalker exists.
Yeah.
Why not go to Tatooine?
Well,
and check on your living family.
Oh, you mean like going after like Owen and Beru?
Yeah.
But wouldn't he know that they were dead already at that point?
That's fair.
Yeah, because he would know that the stormtroopers killed them, right?
That's fair. So it took him that long to put it together.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, he literally doesn't find out that Luke is his son until the first volume of Star Wars by Jason Aaron, canonically.
It's at that point you think Vader was like, wow.
Game changer. Hold on 1 second. Anyway, this incredibly long tangent is all to say Beru throws down. She's ready to throw down.
She's ready to throw down.
She's awesome. And then Owen gets his ass handed to him by a Wookiee. I mean, I feel like most non-Force users... Actually, even Obi-Wan gets his ass handed to him by a Wookiee.
I think most people are going to lose to a fight with a trained Wookiee.
Yeah.
That feels like a nice assumption.
If you're not like... Yeah, if you're just going hand-to-hand combat with a Wookiee, especially one like Black Krrsantan, I think you're fucked. So
there is very little chance of you winning that fight. Obi-Wan only wins because he, like, blinds him.
Yeah. But that's the Obi-Wan issue. It's a good issue. It just does kind of feel like the Obi-Wan stuff that Jason Aaron is writing in these little side stories just kind of hit a brick wall, and it's like there's a natural conclusion here, and as such, there's no more story to really tell, unless you count the entire 6-episode TV show that was then made.
Well, it's kind of like it's like they hit a brick wall because it's like when they did the first one, they were like, oh, Obi-Wan stopped Jabba's people from taking water.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, wait a minute. We could follow that, because Jabba would definitely be pissed.
Yeah. And well, it is interesting, because it's like, every time somebody has ever asked the question, what was Obi-Wan's life like on Tatooine, everyone's kind of come to the same conclusion of, oh, I think it was pretty fucking boring, actually. I think it was really fucking boring. Except for, like, the occasional, like big event that happened in his life, like, say, the Obi-Wan TV show. Or, him watching after Luke. Like... Big things didn't happen to him. There's not a ton of story to tell. I don't think.
All dialogue we've ever seen or heard seems to indicate Obi-Wan just kind of protected the Lars farm's stead.
Yeah.
Like, he sort of just checked up on it, stopped it from being raided, kept their droids safe.
Kept getting verbally abused by Owen Lars.
It's like your neighbor who wants to be helpful, but Owen Lars is like the farmer who just doesn't want your help.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
Literally, yeah. It's strange. It's very strange. Yeah, that's all I really have on the Obi-Wan issue.
Outside of the real, almost pseudo-realistic art on Luke occasionally.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I don't think it's the same artist actually that was on the last Obi-Wan issue. I really don't, because I think it's a little slightly less realistic. I know I called him out last time. Oh no, I think it was still Mike Mayhew, wasn't it?
I think so. That name sounds very familiar.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Because there was like one panel I specifically was like, man, is it that one?
Yep. Sorry, nobody knows what we're talking about. It's Luke flying the Skyhopper. The T-16, that is. They're the same ship, right?
I think so, yeah.
Because the same little toy he's got in his room at the start of New Hope. But yeah, it's nice. My God, though, I have to talk about the main story. Not even the main story. I got to talk about issue 21 specifically, because that, I think it might be the very best issue that Jason Aaron has written for Star Wars ever. Period. At least what I've read up to so far.
Yeah, I think I would agree.
I think it's fascinating. It is a story about the Empire, and it is, God, what does Imperial propaganda look like?
It looks like what this issue is.
It's not strictly Imperial propaganda. It's also the very personal stories of Scar Squadron. Scar Squadron, for those that don't know, are the stormtroopers they're these sort of like specially trained stormtroopers.
They sort of the comic sort of presents it like an elite anti-terrorism group.
Yeah.
Who are all trained, like they have different armor, different skill sets to deal with different kind of very specific threats.
They're very much meant to look like the main Star Wars crew. There's a big guy that's meant to... They literally point that out by having them all face off against their respective stormtrooper in the end.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Chewie faces the big guy, Luke fights the guy with the lightsaber. It all makes sense. It's all... It's meant to be this, the classic Dark Mirror, like, what everyone kind of has their own personal rival in this squadron. But no, importantly, I think... God... It's... Because what are the stormtroopers actually? The stormtroopers are the military. They are the army for the Empire.
They are, I think, officially they're the Navy. I think they like, if we were to compare them to like a real life like part of the military, I think they are the Navy of Star Wars.
Yeah. And I think Because when you look at that, and you equate it to what we have in real life, you have people recruiting for the military. You have people saying, "Hey, join the army now," and people do that because I don't know. I think importantly, like this might get a little too real for a Star Wars conversation, but also it's about wars. So there's that. But also, like, I find this fascinating because I think it's, first off, it's foolish to assume that everyone who ever has joined the military loves America. I think that
feels, yes.
Like we have a friend that joined the military at a high school, and like I don't think he's one of those guys.
No.
We know for a fact it's not one of those guys.
Right, exactly.
And so like when you equate that to Star Wars and you have people joining the military, it's kind of it's like Luke wanting to join join the academy in New Hope. It's like it's just something to do. It's to be like part of the government essentially, and that's not like an imperialistic pride sort of thing. It's like hey, here's just a thing that I can do, and here's an important government job that I can be a part of.
He wants to fly, and Luke wants two things. He wants to fly, and he wants off Tatooine.
Yeah.
How does a young man accomplish that?
Yeah.
Join the army.
Yeah. Luke is so often what you see from like God. I'm trying to think of the right words to describe this, but Luke is very much like something you see a lot in real life, where it's just like, there's a line of like, I don't like the Empire, I hate it, but there's his thing is like, there's no other choice. I have no other choice to get out of here. It's like, no, there is another option. There's the rebellion. There's actually standing up for something. But then there's Scar Squadron. There's these characters in this fucking issue and throughout this story that I absolutely love, because these are guys that actually believe in the Empire. These are your Cyril Karns from Andor. These are people that actually like saw the Empire and were like, oh shit, these guys are like out here saving lives. These guys have a duty to their people because these guys run the fucking galaxy. And we can be part of that and we can do something better.
And importantly for Scar Squadron, we are highly skilled.
And also, in the, like, so often, I think so often to that great ending of that Clone Wars episode, Defenders of Peace, where they save the Lermans and they're like, oh, they save his father, and like the old Lerman guy goes, he's like, I just wonder at what cost. We've given up our freedom. We've given ourselves to the Republic. We are part of the Republic now, technically. And what freedoms have we lost through that? I think also to the amazing final shot of Liberty on Ryloth, when the Ryloth is freed, and then you see looming overhead giant fucking Republic cruiser, and it should feel like a victorious moment, but also that's the Empire right there. That is
the visual iconography telling the audience.
Everyone knows, I feel like if you've only seen Star Wars like once in your life, everyone knows that Star Wars starts on that big fucking shot where you see this big ass triangle ship chasing down this tiny thing that the rebels are inside, and that visual is stuck in everyone's head. And so when you see that, that's the Empire, that's oppression, that is the sign of a bad people. And you see this, and you have these guys in Scar Squadron who find freedom through the Empire. They are freed because, like on Ryloth, the Empire came in one day, quote unquote, liberated their planet, and they actually saw it as liberation. They actually saw it as like, oh cool, we're now part of the Empire. That's a good thing. We are free. And through our freedom, we're going to serve the Empire. And that's what this is. And that's why I find this so fucking fascinating. It's so good.
Like the whole story, this whole first proper issue of the book is told from this perspective that, like, yes, this is what we're seeing, but also every character is fully on board, highly skilled, and knows exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they come out looking like heroes in the end. Yeah. Because that is the perspective this issue has taken.
Yeah. Yeah. And importantly, we have Sergeant Creel here, who I wasn't wrong about. I wasn't wrong about this. Picture this. You're back 2 episodes in R2-BD. You're listening to our discussion on Rebel Jail. And I literally get up from the chair I'm sitting in right now, and I walk over to my fucking shelf, and I grab my copy of Showdown on Smuggler's Moon. And I open it up, and I'm like, I keep looking through this book, I'm like, man, I could have swore I saw the Stormtrooper with the lightsaber before. Maybe I'm going crazy. I don't know. I sit back down in my chair, I'm like, I don't know. I guess he's not there. Whatever. I guess I imagined this. I didn't.
We did not imagine this.
He just wasn't a Stormtrooper when we saw him.
But we recognized the visual iconography with this character.
Yes, he was the Pitmaster on Nar Shaddaa, or the Game Master.
Game Master.
The Game Master on Nar Shaddaa. Back in Showdown on Smuggler's Moon.
It took Luke less than 5 minutes to put it together.
Yeah, very very quick. I mean, how many non-force using green lightsaber wielding people has Luke come across? You know?
Fair enough. Yeah.
I think that's a pretty fair conclusion. I don't know what tipped me off. I don't know where I pulled this from in my brain.
Maybe it was the fact he's a non-force using green lightsaber
yes,
wielder.
That's exactly it. But I know more of Star Wars. Luke Skywalker doesn't. He's only lived through 19 years of it. I've lived it my entire life.
We pulled too far back in our fan brains.
We did.
We had the exact same evidence Luke did.
Yeah.
But we went too far.
Yeah. We should talk about the actual main story, though, because, God, we're over 20 minutes into this already, and we've barely talked about the main story.
Holy crap.
I mean, here's the thing. Technically, the first Scar Squadron issue is technically part of Last Flight of the Harbinger.
It's just getting us, the audience, primed for every key member that's part of the squad.
Yeah. They don't even become part of the main story, though, until, the last, 2 issues.
2 issues, yeah. And they're barely in that second to last one.
Yeah. Well, Last Flight of the Harbinger is, though, as a story, though, is a really cool idea. A great concept. You could just tell that Jason Aaron was really hedging hedging his bets on this first proper issue of the main story. He was just I'm gonna lead everyone along for one whole issue, and they're gonna get this last page reveal, and it's gonna set off the entire rest of the story. But until then, I just need you to hang on, because it's just, imagine the most generic Star Wars issue of a comic book you've ever read in your entire life. That's the first proper issue of Last Fight of the Harbinger.
That's completely fair.
It is generic ass. I barely have any notes on it. I just have Space Battle, Harbinger in parentheses because I found out what the ship was.
Yeah.
Luke flies into Destroyer Engine, which is badass.
That was cool.
I was like, ooh, wow, Sata's still working with the Rebels. I didn't expect that, actually.
Honestly, I really didn't expect that.
And then just Harbinger down, and then I put in parentheses later, I put, or so I thought. And those are all my notes. That's an entire issue's worth of notes in my notes here. And
that's about all that really happens.
That's all that happens. It's just, it's a pretty looking space battle. It's very nice looking.
And it doesn't even necessarily fall into the thing Star Wars does all the time. Unfollowable space battles.
Yeah, you can follow what they're going through. Although, I guess going into those notes, I like the visual of Luke flying into the Star Destroyer engine. I thought that was cool.
That was cool, yes.
And yeah, I was genuinely surprised that Sana Staros is still working with the Rebels. I kind of thought that she might be going her own way by now.
I mean, that she very heavily indicated that she wanted to be paid and gone.
Yeah, but no, here she is. Here she is. And it's not a bad thing, because I like especially a lot of her stuff with Luke later on in the volume. But I just found that interesting. I'm not sure. But
she is, as a character, she either likes these people, which I find unlikely if I'm brutally honest, or she is just going along because it's just more pay.
Yeah.
It's a bit of both, I'm sure.
Yeah. But yeah, and that's all it is for that issue. The actual issue is, we should explain the actual twist. The twist is that they quote unquote destroy the Harbinger. They leave the destroyed engine behind.
The main reactor.
Yeah.
They let that explode.
Yeah. They leave that as proof to the Empire that the Harbinger was destroyed, that it went down in this space battle, and actually the Rebels have stolen the entire rest of the Harbinger, and that they now have an Imperial Star Destroyer that they own, pretty much, and are flying through space.
Impressively, to get around even being seen going into hyperspace, they have it so the reactor does it as it's exploding.
Yeah. It's really fucking cool. I'm really into that. But what's great then is that the next issue does kind of open on all these flashbacks, because once again Jason Aaron was hedging all his bets on this first issue, being you need to know nothing, and it needs to be just such a nothing issue of Star Wars that only by the end and the next issue are you really understanding what it's all about.
Is this going to make sense?
Yeah, so we have all these flashbacks at the start of the following issue showing why they're doing this. They're helping out this other planet.
It's a planet being blockaded. All that matters.
Yeah, bringing supplies to the other planet and explaining their plan about how they stole the ship. And it's cool. It's a cool idea. It's a cool thing.
Is the second issue the one where Han and Leia bicker about who's gonna be captain?
That's literally my next note after the flashback sequence is the Han and Leia race. They literally race from one end of the Star Destroyer to the other to determine who is the captain of this Star Destroyer.
I love the incredibly impressive ways that it gets ridiculous, to the point where Leia just starts walking on the outside of the Star Destroyer.
Yes, it's so fucking good. And then as they fucking run by Sada, Sada's look at those two crazy kids in love. And Luke is what? Leia loves me. He doesn't say that, but he implies that.
Because at this point, he still thinks he has a shot.
Yeah. So you're saying there's a chance. But yeah, no, yeah. Santa just immediately sees that these two crazy kids are so into each other. I love it. But yeah. Oh god, what is this? Oh yes, I forgot about this. This was nuts. I was looking through my notes here. I forgot something that happened. The rebellion admiral being strapped to the alliance ship.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's fucking nuts. As Leia's like running on the outside of the ship, she sees this fucking thing, and yeah, it is this sign that the Empire kind of knows what they're up to.
What you see, Sena is like, oh shit, we're screwed.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Immediately blows it up. Everyone else is kind of pissed at her, but she is like, no. I made the correct decision. Yeah. You will all see that yet.
Oh yeah. And Leia does of course win the race. She becomes captain of the Harbinger. Han almost wins. It's a very close race.
It's very close.
But once again, I repeat, Leia ran on the outside of the Star Destroyer, so pretty big.
There is the one panel that's really funny where you see both of them running, Leia on the outside and through the window, Han.
Oh yes. I'm trying to remember my OneNote here. Why I have this one thing down. I have that Luke is not a Jedi. Is that what the thing with Sena?
Yeah. Sena says he's like a poor Jedi or something.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm not even a Jedi at all yet. Like I'm not. Yeah. But I just find it. I found Luke and Sena's relationship really interesting in this volume in general. I found that to be an interesting dynamic that Jason Aaron is playing around a lot with, because Luke is kind of on his own. If, as far as like pairing up the main crew goes, if you want to start doing the prequel storytelling thing of saying like, hey, we know that they didn't decide that Han and Leia were going to be together until Empire. But what we can do with retrospect is say, hey, in the years leading up to Empire, Han and Leia already kind of had this flirty thing going on. Mm-hmm.
Because that's kind of obvious. That's the obvious method of storytelling.
Yeah. So they've been doing this for the past couple volumes, and Luke has kind of been on his own for the most part. He's been...
Unless you purposefully separate Han and Leia.
Yeah. And so what we have now here instead, with Han and Leia being stuck together, is Luke and Sena, and Luke having someone to bounce off of. And I think that's a smart move for his character.
It absolutely is, yeah.
Yeah. So Han does become the helmsman, though. He's the helmsman of the ship. He gets some kind of title at least, and
it's honestly probably a better fit for him.
Yeah. And then the story starts exploding in on itself. Scar Squadron is here, Vader is here, everything starts going to hell as we're trying to deliver these supplies.
I do like this is both for like the final panels of the issue of this volume, mm-hmm. and like up to like from now till then.
Yeah.
When as soon as things start exploding, R2 is like, fuck it, I'm just gonna take over.
Yeah.
He starts piloting the whole ship.
Yes. It's so much fun.
To which literally everyone, Empire, Rebellion, they're like, I don't know who's flying this thing, but it is phenomenal.
Right? What a great pilot R2-D2 is. He did learn from Darth Vader, after all. He did. God, you know, this great joke. The volume ends with 3PO being captured by Scar Squadron and brought to Vader. And you had this great comment that, like, yeah, it's that prequel storytelling thing of like George Lucas not thinking everything out. It's like, oh yeah, when 3PO and Vader see each other all those times throughout the trilogy, they're never once like, hey, wait, or Vader at least.
Yeah, because 3PO explicitly has his mind wiped.
Yeah, but Vader at least is never like, is that? No. No, there's no way.
There is no way.
There's no way, no. Incredibly funny. On 3PO, I have a note here that I think because... God, I'm in this weird state of flux with my protocol droids in these comics.
Okay.
I keep reading them as each other. Does that make sense?
I understand exactly what you mean.
Because I read 000 in the Darth Vader comics with 3PO's voice. Because he should sound like Anthony Daniels.
He should sound 3PO-ish,
yeah. But because of that, I think I read the sarcastic cadence that I always read for 000, and I'm starting to apply that to 3PO as well, and I shouldn't be doing that, definitely.
Definitely not.
But it just kind of keeps happening because 000 just has a lot more personality. Not that 3PO doesn't have personality, and I love 3PO, but because 000 is very much like a newer character to me, he like stands out a lot, and I have a voice picked out in my head that is like, it's not just Anthony Daniels, it's a way of Anthony Daniels speaking, you know, that just makes sense.
Oh yeah, well, because he has to sound like 3PO or enough like 3PO that it would fool Luke even during Vader Down.
Yeah, I mean realistically, he would have his own voice that isn't Anthony Daniels, but because we have like TC. Whatever, the fucking droid from the droid from the start of the Phantom Menace, she has a different voice because she has a very feminine voice, which is why I say she.
And we know droids in Star Wars kind of pick, or are assigned one, I guess, more accurately.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just keep doing Daniels for 000, and now 000 is bleeding over into 3PO, and I shouldn't be doing that. But whatever. I do like that during the Luke and Creel fight, you have Vader contacting Sergeant Creel, being like, "Neither of you are skilled enough for this fucking fight. Stop right now. It's not gonna go well." And as such, the only leg up that Luke kind of has in the end is that he's just barely learning the Force, and so he wins by actually Force pushing Creel out of the way.
He Force pushes him. I do love that Scar Squad is introduced as undefeatable, and as soon as the rebels need the upper hand, all of their collective asses are kicked.
Yeah, I do like that we don't just wipe Scar Squadron off the face of the earth though, because they are still there by the end.
They survive.
Yeah,
I think we actually only killed like 2 of them.
Yeah.
And that's because they got sucked into goddamn space.
Yeah. But no, I'm hoping they'll play a bigger role going forward in Star Wars, in the Star Wars comic. At the very least, I'd like to see them. I'd like to see them specifically involved in whatever ends up happening with 3PO after this.
I think I'm just going to make a general prediction and say we will definitely see them next volume because they have to be around for the 3PO stuff. But they will either disappear or they will be killed off.
Yeah. There's also a fun little story included at the end of this volume called Droid Dilemma. It's a fun little R2-D2 story.
It's a little thing.
Yeah, it is dedicated to Kenny Baker because I think Kenny Baker had recently died at the time. The original guy inside R2-D2.
Yeah.
I never found it. Cause I think it's Kenny Baker still inside R2 in Force Awakens. I think it's still him.
Oh, you think? I actually don't know if it is or isn't.
I want to say, I don't think he had died before Force Awakens. I think he died after Force Awakens. I could be wrong. I seem to remember him being part of that famous black and white table read photo for Force Awakens. I want to say he was there. I could be wrong. That said, I do want to bring it up because I don't know if you got to see it yet. The Spaceballs 2 cast photo where they parodied the black and white Force Awakens table read photo. Did you see this yet?
I don't think so. I know you told me about it.
Here, it's the Spaceballs 2
Oh my
cast
god.
photo. Look at Rick Moranis back there. Rick Moranis is acting again.
He is there.
Bill Pullman over there, Lone Star himself. You got Mel Brooks on the Zoom call. You love it. Oh, it's so good. I just hope it's good, man.
I hope it's good.
I saw this great video of Josh Gad's saying like the reason he really wanted to make it was because he was there. He was watching Spaceballs with his kid, and there's the line that Yogurt has where he's like, "Hopefully, God willing, we'll all meet again in Spaceballs 2 to search for more money." And so the kid actually thought that there was a Spaceballs 2, and Josh Gad was like, "I've got to do something about this." And so he called Mel Brooks, as you do. You just call Mel Brooks. And Mel Brooks had apparently said that he had just been waiting for someone to actually want to do it for years. And we're getting Spaceballs 2.
I feel like Mel Brooks could have called pretty much anybody. I want to do Spaceballs 2.
Yeah.
And they would have been like, yes.
Yes, yeah. Thankfully, Josh Gad is a guy that he's a very corporate comedian, but he is still a comedian I have a lot of respect for, I think.
Mm-hmm.
If you get what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
Like, he's very corporate, but like I think he uses his corporate connections to actually do genuinely good things for the most part, aside from playing Olaf.
But hey, you have to at least pay the bill somehow.
Yeah, and I'm sure every Olaf performance gains him another 5 extra years of stability. So
how do you think you have all the corporate connections?
Yeah. Anyway, we're in the Spaceballs tangent at the end of this. That about does it for our last play of the Harbinger. What do we do next time on R2-BD? Well, we are doing more Darth Vader. We're covering the last volume of Darth Vader by Kieran Gillett called End of Games. I'm very excited to talk about that.
I'm excited to finish something out again.
Right? Yeah, it'll be nice to do a comic on this show that is a longer running thing that isn't like a mini series. They're actually finishing up properly. It'll be nice to actually close out that loop. But after that, we are getting into a book afterward. I think we can announce what it is.
I think we can say the book. Yeah.
We can just say what it is. We're gonna get back into some Legends stuff. It was my book choice for this one. We're gonna talk about Darth Plagueis by James Lucchino, and I'm just so incredibly excited. I've never read it.
As is most things for the show. It's new.
It has been on my to read list for such an insanely long time, and I'm finally going to be doing that, so I'm very excited about that. But that'll be in 2 episodes' time. We got Vader coming up next. After all of that, we have some more fun, exciting things planned. Something a little different for the show. So,
yeah, a little different. Can't wait.
But be on the lookout for all that. In the meantime, be sure to go to the link below. Go to the description below. You can find links down there. That's what I meant to say. You can find my link tree, Jacob Blue Sky, patreon.com/BloodDonut Studios. You can get all kinds of fun things there, like early Star Trek reviews, Star Trek commentaries, fresh-faced extras, and including your, if you just want to do the general support tier, you can get your name in the description as well. It's the first thing in the description that everybody sees when they go down there. They see cool people that are supporting us, and they're like, hey, that's a pretty cool person that's supporting Blood Donut Studios. I should do that as well. Hopefully that's what they think. I think that's what they think, right?
Hopefully it's what they think. I'd like to think
that's definitely what they think. They see these rad-ass people down below, and they're like, man, I want to have my name there. And so they give us $1 a month. That's absolutely what happens. Yeah,
absolutely.
Anyway, check all that out. Subscribe to the channel, Blood Donut Studios. Any help support means the absolute world to us. I guess until next time, this has been Joey Morgan.
I'm Jacob.
Goodbye.